Alright, good evening, THL, and welcome to Friday Night Fights. My name is Dr. Fish. I am your op for this evening, and with me, I have the dynamic diamond duo. We have Dankus Dad and Kodamora. Say hello, gentlemen, and I will let you guys kind of take it away.
Way too long. Back on Friday night for a nice match here. We got some Legacy 5 seeds squaring off. Should be a good one.
You know, you got that nice chill air in Ohio. It's a cool night. It's Friday night. Got the popcorn ready and a fantastic matchup. We got Righteous Jammies versus Joltsy. Dankus, what do you think of this lineup? Kind of give us the rundown.
So, from both players, we see that they have sort of the most popular decks in this meta, or most popular classes anyway. We have both of them bringing the Hunter, the Mage, and the Priest. And it's that fourth class where they differ. Righteous Jammies has gone with their Warlock, and Joltsy has gone with his Shaman. So maybe we'll see some Imps, maybe we'll see some Mutinesses, some repeated battle cries, but maybe it's a wild card. We'll just have to see. What do you think, Kodamora, of those classes? Do you think Warlock or Shaman would be the one you'd bring?
I definitely think, and if you don't, without looking at my lineup I definitely brought the same one with the Warlock. I love the flexibility in the closed list format. And it really kind of goes to what you want to ban. And so kind of looking at these lineups, if you have the Warlock, looking at the other side, you know, the instant Hunter ban we always kind of go to is a possibility, but maybe the Priest. But also kind of the flexibility on Priest if you bring the Warlock mean, do we see the Thief Priest this time around, or is it just going to be the tried and true Naga? And then from Joltzi's side, it's more of a control lineup. It'd be very interesting to see kind of playing into it. You have the Hunter ban and possibly maybe the Warlock ban because of flexibility. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that all makes sense. I was, gonna give the argument from the other side about why you bring Shaman, but I just took a quick look and I brought Warlock. I brought the same lineup as Righteous Jammy, so I guess I'm in the Warlock camp myself. But I think that I like what you're saying about Jolt C. The big controlling package, I think, is really nice there. I mean, it's great. You can ask anybody. If you ever have some time to talk to Geranium, you'll know I will play terrible, slow control decks until the end of time, except when I don't. But when I do, I'm having fun. And
exactly,
I think that if Jolt C goes for this Warlock ban, takes some curses out of the equation, every single one of those decks here has the tools to grind with Mage, grind with Beast Hunter, grind against Priest. It can happen. So yeah, I feel like for my ban prediction, we'll see Righteous Jammies ban Jolt C's Hunter, and we'll see Jolt C ban the Warlock. I'm gonna go with that.
I'm gonna vary slightly and go with, I think maybe it's a matter of we don't want to see the best decks, so I think it may be a double Hunter ban. Just to be safe, and just kind of let the other decks kind of play out. But both are very viable. Hunter's oppressive and just good in just about everything. Yeah, definitely excited to see which way they go. I think they're ready to kick off here.
All right, Dr.
Yeah, they are.
You know what the bans are. Who's right?
Kodamora.
Who's right?
Kodamora's right. It is double Hunter. No Hunter for anybody. I am not surprised by this. Hunter is a very good class. Do not be like me and ban Warrior in your match when you have the option to ban anything else.
Warrior is never the correct ban.
No. Yeah, but so a little self-deprecation there for myself. But we got these players ready to rumble. It's not about me. It is not about me. It is all about these two players right now. So,
Hunter x Hunter. I guess that's what it is.
Hunter, yeah.
Gotta love the anime references and Friday Night Fights.
Yeah,
keep those up.
It's a true story.
So now we know that both Hunters are banned, and we don't know the decks. Kind of, who's going to take this? I mean, is it going to be a 3-0 sweep, or are we seeing a long Game 5 series? Kind of, what are your predictions?
So I think that if both players are banning Hunter, then I'd expect things to go a little bit faster than I had thought before the bans. Just because if Jolt C is willing to leave the Warlock up, then the decks have to sort of at least skirt a middle ground where they're controlling enough to deal with the Imp early game, or perhaps even more aggressive. Yet they still are, fast enough to get under the curses that will eventually win it for Warlock. So maybe we'll see the Naga or Bless Priest on Jolt C's side, possibly an evolved Shaman. Like, I think that there's a lot of potential to go proactive. The Mage even could be 30 cards instead of 40 if we still see the skeleton package. So I'm going to go on the faster side for my guess.
I think that the pilots are so close and the decks can kind of swing at each other enough. I'm going to go for 5 games, but we'll see how it plays out. Maybe I'm just being selfish and I want to cast more games.
Yeah, well, we can see how it's playing out right now because our players are in the match. And it looks like we have some sort of Mage going up against the Control Shaman. And from the cards we're seeing, it looks like it's not a big spell Mage since there is an Arcane Intellect in the opening hand. Oh. No. And we have 40 cards for both players.
So a little bit more drawn out game, a little bit more control-y packages. The Shivering Sorceress is interesting. Early game kind of pressure, discounting the stuff, just trying to cheat out some early spells, and we don't see the best start from Jolt C with a double amalgam, kind of with no target. But we do see that Wild Paw Cavern.
Right, and without Lightning Bloom in the format, Cavern is a card that's just been a lot slower than some of the other proactive strategies. And it seems like Joltsea really can't do much unless you'd like to play an Amalgam of the Deep and get on board. Instead, we see the Totem.
Is there any thought process to playing the Amalgam just for tempo purposes and just kind of put something on the board?
I think so, especially because it sets up another Amalgam for the next turn. Could potentially be nice, but if Joltsea wants to grind out this game, then holding on to them to hit elementals or another minion type that has big stats could be good. And pretty heads up play from Righteous Jammies. Slamming this Bran is really threatening, but unfortunately plays into the Null. Except for Goldshire Null, Shaman doesn't actually have many tools to deal with that. So, not an unreasonable risk. And Theotar comes down. I don't like spending the Theotar this early. I think generally waiting for the Shaman to spend resources, maybe get to their Denathrius is important. And now it's hard for Righteous Jammies. They don't really have a good way to, interact with the Denathrius anymore or really disrupt the Shaman's win condition. So as long as Joltsea can just hang in there and stay alive, then just Brukan or Denathrius should be able to outmuscle Jammies and take game one.
Yeah, in the thought process here maybe is put down the Wild Paw now, maybe coin out Sleepbreaker just to get some tempo going. But just going to go ahead and cast the Ravager, draw some cards.
Yeah.
Because the problem with Wildcard, the Cavern just sits in hand, and now it's even less effective for every turn it sits in hand.
Well, I don't dislike it this turn along with maybe a Null. Seems like just a reasonable way to spend mana. Yeah, Joltsea has to work through this hand to actually be able to play this Murloc Holmes eventually. Get some value off the Amalgam. But yeah, I think it's Cavern Null here. That seems like it makes a lot of sense. Maybe Cavern plus Cookie if you use the coin. But yeah, Joltsea's got as many options as he can have. He's got 10 cards in hand. So
maybe you start slamming down some of these Murlocs just for the tempo and just kind of get them out of the hand, right? You have the coin, so you can go Pyromancer into Amalgam, see what you draw, maybe into Cookie, right? With the coin, kind of create some space for Murloc later on, because that's going to be the danger. To your point earlier.
Sure. This line also works pretty well here.
Mm-hmm.
Can use the coin here to get a Cavern down, or just play Cookie. I like both of those. I think Cavern would have been my preference, just because, as you had pointed out, it just is so slow the longer you hold it. But this does spend mana, get stats on the board, keep the cards flowing, and yeah. Unfortunately now, though, Joltsea's fallen a little bit behind and maybe needs to use this Flurgle to catch up.
Definitely needs to use the Flurgle. And, I can see kind of holding on to the Wild Null, Goldshire Null, just for the extra value, or maybe, for the stats. I'm drawing a blank. What the location that? Yeah, the Muck Pools. Thank you.
No problem.
Because the schooling, you just don't have enough spots in hand to really get all the value out of the schooling right away. But chooses to go ahead and play it and the coin.
Okay, what is being coined? Schooling.
Did you see the schooling?
Okay.
And I assume
this does clear the board.
Going to end this. Yeah, and I assume the Cavern's going to end this rotation.
Well, I think
no,
we're going to see the schooling here. Probably be Amalgam, get a Beast. Oh, Snaps Glug. That's interesting. I might have thought about choosing the Macaw in this matchup, but Glug also is great. Like just
Yeah.
another huge threat the mage has to answer. See if
And does the
Jammies.
Shamans run the Nathrius?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
So
I
Shattering
assume
Blast.
so. Yeah.
Shattering Blast looked great with these flurries in hand, but what did Righteous Jammies pick? They picked the Polymorph Jellyfish. So,
Which is that good counter for the Devourer that could be coming late, right? So
right.
just kind of transforming the minions, and it's a control matchup.
Yeah.
Clownfish.
I think the Shattering Blast might have been a bit more effective, but still, the Jellyfish does offer some flexibility. And it's a great time to be a Glug fan here. I hope Ridiculous Hat is one of our maybe 3 to 5 viewers on our Friday night, but I hope that he can see Glug in action. If you're in the chat, Glug one of your friends, just like you might on social media, where you can find Team Hearth League on Twitter. Check out their page. Mako would appreciate it. All right. Polymorph Jellyfish takes care of this Glug. And the Reckless Apprentice is going to come down and clean up the rest of this mess.
Yeah, and it's not empowered, so it's just doing damage, but I mean, it does take the biggest threats off the board.
Oh.
It's a battle of attrition.
Yeah, and so far, I think that Righteous Jammies has spent considerably more resources than Jolt C, but we'll see if things change.
And notably, neither really are getting long-term benefit from empowering their hand. The Nathrius isn't sitting there eating up all these minion deaths, kind of just be a little bit stronger. We do see the Devourer, but I don't think that Righteous is going to be putting out too many big creatures to take big advantage of that. So we do see the Firemancer player.
Yep. Interesting. I'm actually not sure which one of these is the right call. I think I'd be inclined to pick Sir Finley Murgleton, but
I agree. I actually agree, because the long-term value of changing your hero power to probably something more proactive or maybe more defensive.
Well, Shaman does have what's arguably the worst hero power in the game, and you have
Anything
cards to
better.
spend.
Nope.
I think that maybe just as a 1-mana Murloc with no real relevant text, it might have been the right call. But now it didn't trigger. That's funny. Maybe this is Murloc Holmes on the rope time. Is Jolt C
decision?
Is Jolt C godlike?
Don't see the APMs today.
No.
So just using the schooling. Not a full clear, but good.
Yeah,
Some
multicaster picks up some cards. Some card. If Cold Case had been played before, it would have gotten 2, but a little bit of unfortunate sequencing there.
Ooh. Now
There's
we get a good
Brucan.
hero power.
Yes, and you just slam this Brucan. Jolt C is very happy to see it. And Righteous Jammies is now under significant pressure.
And this is a 6 hero power and then 2 taunts, right? This is a pretty straightforward one.
Well, I think you deal the damage here. I think that maybe attacking first was a little bit better, just to make sure that the minions get through. But this just works out so neatly. Minions are at a higher health total. Not really an easy way to clear them. And now the pressure's on. Even this Mordrish isn't active yet.
Yeah, and outside just gaining some armor, the mage can't kind of gain life. An early solid alibi.
Yep, and Righteous Jammies is spreading out the damage a little bit. Not actually taking anything off of this board, which isn't a great look. think this is
And we just see the Theotar coming into play now, and we do see that Mordresh, which could be a win condition on the other side that has a good chance of being plucked.
yeah. I'd expect probably the Murloc Holmes here. We'll see if Joltz can solve the puzzle. So he knows about the Frozen Touch.
Yep.
So knows that wasn't there. Frozen Touch is in the hand. Gets it. And in the deck, ooh, tough one. I would pick Frozen Touch.
I would pick Frozen Touch.
I think that's got to be it. And no! So close.
We were all in agreement, though. I guess that's the big thing.
Right.
Locked out on board unless he wants to.
I'm pretty sure that I was pretty sure it was School Teacher based on the double Frozen Touch in hand and the fact that the deck only generally runs one Frozen Touch.
I have usually run 2 in mine.
Gotcha. It's kind of debatable. I've seen. Then I'll say. What happened? Was there a
I think
freeze-up?
Joltz ran out of time. Maybe forgot what Solid Alibi. I don't know.
Did not even deal with the 2-1. Kind of surprised me to get the hero power. I know that Joltz did mention that his PC is frozen.
Oh no.
Yeah, he said early that his laptop was on the fritz, which I assume means that it's just not doing so hot. So if there's any pause like that, it's definitely because of that. So Jammies will probably be waiting a little bit. Just an update. I was just gonna update about the pick, but yeah, I'll let it go back to you guys.
All right, and we are back there with a Blade Master Okani. Minion looks like a great pick based on what we know about these hands. And this Theotar here is kind of nice. Getting that little bit of advanced knowledge, send over a Piranha Swarmer. Makes the Okani a little bit more awkward, but I think that Wildpaw Cavern here, or School Teacher, is a pretty good choice at this point.
And none of these are great choices. Maybe the Wolves just for more pressure, but does
Definitely.
Schooling. I like the Wolves just because of health, but you already have board control, so Schooling has less value.
Yeah. I mean, I think both are good, and
yeah,
I honestly wouldn't fault Joltz here for opting for board control, because with this Brucon setup, that's truly all that he needs. So it seems here like Righteous Jammies is going to try to set up a Deathborn off of this Grey Sage Parrot to get a big clear next turn.
And we may see the Mordresh get activated from the fireballs, right? So
from the fire or the lightning invocation, it can turn on. So that's actually funny that Shaman is a class that can utilize it after becoming Brucon. Good call out.
And we just see this sad caverns, the unvisited caverns, maybe for the whole game because it's just board locked and
possibly. Hey, have you ever seen Mordresh get Macaw or Bolnard? I think this might be how this game ends.
We couldn't ask for anything more. Oh, there's that Muck Pools we didn't see early. Schooling. This is the value of Schooling. I think can clear out some. Farsight.
Farsight's an awesome pickup.
Yeah. Maybe get a discount on a brand if you're lucky.
Macaw.
Oh man. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. And what are you thinking here? I mean, how would you kind of hold off this attack from Righteous Jammies?
Yeah, I think that if I were Joltz, I probably would have done some face tanking there, then went as hard as I could on the board. I I don't know if I'd play around the second parrot that we know is in hand here for Righteous Jammies, but like this sort of line here, I think makes some sense. Just put some stats in play, get on the board, and hopefully start to turn things around. But we'll see here if this next Deathborn is what Righteous Jammies needs, but they're clearing off all the minions, so they're going to take it a little slower. Frozen Touch could have been reinfused there, but unfortunately will not have been. Sin Runner will claim one. And things are looking great for Joltsy here. Hero Power can get things going.
And I think, that given those one extra turns, maybe the difference of activating Mordresh, and we see close to lethal already there.
Yep.
See the caverns getting played. And then schooling? Or is this a Blade Master Akani kind of, yeah.
I think Okani, you don't really have anything better to do. Calling Okani on minions seems great to me. And that's what we see. Macaw. I don't like spending this resource, but especially when there's the damage on board to clear it with no RNG.
And does get kind of that win condition. Maybe it's a win more, being so low on life, right? Because we need at least one more. Either actually, this one should do it. This hero power should get through if there's any minions left.
Yeah, and I think we will see some because of the Deathborn. So hero power Mordresh is a clear. Although at this point, maybe Joltsy is a little bit scared of Kel'Thuzad, but there's not much to be done about it. So, doesn't spot the line. Tunnels in on the Gorlock. And not much Murlocking left to do.
Merking before to get more stats on board. Does get more stats.
Yep. Oh, wait. No, not going to hero power?
I
think debating whether they wanted to use the Joltsy wanted to use the Piranha to absorb a hit, but he elects not to, and well, that's a lethal setup there.
Always lethal.
Well, it's over as long as Joltsy spots the line.
And we see Righteous, they're just kind of dumping damage face. I think seeing the end is getting closer and having to do something. Another Glug is always good.
Boom. Mordresh lethal.
Man, and Shaman takes the game. Game 1 against Spooky Mage, Control Fest. Gotta love those. Gotta love the control matches. Yep. Well played.
And then we'll see. Shaman is through. So that fourth class has gotten through for one of our players.
So kind of, what do you bring next? If you from Righteous Jammies, what do you think they're thinking? You just run back the mage again? I mean, you got Priest and Mage left on the other side. You hoping for the mirror? Or you just what are your thoughts?
I think Righteous Jammies probably just wants to bring the randomize, I guess, but looks like it's the mage. So let's see what we've got. And Quest Priest on Joltsy's side.
We're going to be here for a while. This is going to be a long one.
Well, we'll see if Magister Dawngrasp has anything to say about that.
Really good starting hand. And
no!
Theotar is...
Righteous Jammies sends it back.
No. And even the Theotar to hold it for the win condition at the end is something that you can possibly do as well, too, right? So
yes, and that's really one of Mage's best things to do when they can't play proactively. And unfortunately for Righteous Jammies, the Magister Dawn Grasp is one of the best ways that Mage can pressure the Priest, and throwing it back just really hurts.
Because even if it takes longer to ramp, it still ramps, and you have time.
Right. And I think that maybe Righteous Jammies was anticipating the Naga Priest, but it's just so sad to see the best card in a matchup sent away. So, knowing what he's up against, Jolt C will elect to Hero Power Pass, popular Priest play.
The most popular Hero Priest play, I think, over the life of Hearthstone, and a pretty decent curve. I mean, one of the things that can be a trouble for the Quest Priest is kind of not getting the card you need to progress. We don't see a 4 yet, but card draw is good, and have the possibilities with this Gift of Naru.
Right. It looks like here we have lost Jolt C, I would guess.
I think you would have guessed correctly.
On the upside,
yeah, Jolt C's game.
Decks,
yeah, it was a game crash. We'll be starting shortly.
We got time.
I was informed that it was. I was informed of a game crash, so
luckily no high APMs are needed.
No, not in this matchup, and not on turn 3 especially. It's just hitting the end turn button.
Well, maybe it isn't. No, looks like Jolt C is back, but the question of whether wants to take some extra damage, perhaps, in order to draw a card a little bit earlier. Could be something to consider, but I think that you are likely right. We'll see the pass and go from there.
Yeah, I think the pass, and then you have some removal if you need to. We don't see a solid, board clear on Jolt C's side, so empowering the minion, the light it burns, but
that's a Theotar. I think that Righteous Jammies has spent that resource a little bit too soon.
Really going all in on this aggressive approach, which if they don't have the answer, can pay dividends. But we have some taunts and some walls that Priest notoriously plays in these Quest Priest matchups, and they do have clears, so it's a gamble.
Yeah, probably see Renathal and some card draw here. Oh, another 3.
But value.
Yes. Interesting play here from Righteous Jammies, using the Flurry to draw an extra card, which I think is a great choice there, and also being heads up, knowing that Light That Burns is a holy spell and will add yet another draw. So really clever, and not a play you get to see every day.
And I think here it may be even okay to drop a 6-drop or 5-drop to kind of hold off. I mean, you could play the value game, get a secret, kind of see what it is. May get lucky on that, but I think it's okay to play out of turn here. You don't need to win quickly. You just need to survive.
And with the cards drawn already, the Spirit Guide is a little likely to find another 5 with Clean the Scene, which would be exactly what Jolt C needs.
What is Elun's will?
So I like that line. Looks like we're going to see the Venomous Scorpion instead, though.
Yeah, trying to dig for some Priest spells, there's a lot of good ones, and maybe some that matter here. Nothing that full clears.
Yeah, Condemn could help. But yeah, no full clears. Devouring Plague, not bad. I don't think that's worth spending a coin on, though. Power Infusion is a 4. See the sketchy. And seems like a premature desperate prayer, but
Yeah, it's kind of that fine line of at what point is too much damage to the face, you get too worried about it. But spending a zero costing spell kind of you can spend it next turn and possibly with more effect.
Right.
And a trade? No. Okay.
All right. And based on how Joltzy has been playing this, we could see a quest completion here, or a quest stage completion.
Ooh.
Oh, Lightmaw Nether Drake.
Oh.
That is. Oh no! Hit the minion. It's okay.
Maybe they missed it. Just
A little bit of a miscount, perhaps.
Yeah. It's all the way there on the other side of the screen. Kind of gets hidden in the corner.
True.
Here, I mean, I like the Sketchy Stranger. Just again, more disruption, more value. You don't need the 6-cost Light Bomb. I don't think you'll get another wide board.
Yep. Shard I also like as a pickup to silence off the damage from volatile skeletons. So good merit to both of those. And now we can see.
This is a Light That Burns is also viable here, just to remove that 3 damage from board. And you have other removal. You don't really need to save it or hold on to it.
Right. Instead, we'll see the hero power. And
I like face. I mean, Righteous Gem is here. They just need to keep putting pressure, right?
Right.
It's about dropping. At some point, you just have enough burn with Frozen Touch resets and hero powers, and you just kind of get there.
And there is the Zyrella, now a little bit stranded without the Desperate Prayer anymore. So probably see the Light Shower Elemental, maybe a Shivering Sorceress. Shard of the Naru could also silence the Bran. Might be the choice here, since you can't really leave Bran Bronzebeard up. Well,
no, but you can also you're right. I mean, I think that was you can heal yourself, Zyrella, and then use
Coin
the
Light That Burns.
That's not ideal, but
that's the other line. I think though that Joltzy is just gonna say, and take the risk.
You got it. You got it. I don't think this is a game from Joltzy's point of view that Solid Alibi would have been a good.
Not really a card you want to see as the mage player. So lucky for Righteous Jammies that was the card that they milled. And looks like the punish for this brand staying up is not too significant. So that's at least fortunate for Joltzy.
But the same problem still applies. We do see Discover, so let's see. Go digging, or let's draw first. Wait, how many cards? Oh, full hand.
Yeah.
So
we could see this into a Desperate Prayer, and that would just clean this whole situation up. Or into a Clean the Scene, which would also take care of everything. So I really like the Thrive in the Shadows, but looks like that's not what we're going to see.
And the thing to keep in mind from Joltzy's point of view is your hand is pretty full, and you have something on the board that draws more cards.
Right.
So an Identity Theft is great, but again, it's value, and you don't have enough space for value. A trap we often fall into. You kind of want to get down to that seven cards in hand thing.
Well, true. Man, I miss the good old days when I could have 12 cards in my hand in Standard.
Yeah. Does choose the Identity Thief.
Coin to draw a card. And it's another Light Shower Elemental and a big power infusion.
But, has that danger of drawing two.
Oh,
least-
Blademaster Okani. That's actually great.
Mhm.
Can get both spell and minion here.
Well, we do see some cheap stuff on Joltzi's side that can kind of burn through it, but yeah, it's wasted resources.
Yeah. A little unfortunate, though, that everything else had to be spent here. But Joltzi will be milling a little bit. Not that in this matchup it matters particularly.
Any of those were of any huge consequence. It wasn't any 7 or 8 drops that are very valued, since you don't have very many of them. So losing one of those could have been catastrophic.
Right. So hopefully here we see the ice trap into a removal to deal with the Okani, and then some minions.
Definitely minions to clear out the space, and then allowing yourself to use the.
Oh, I don't like that.
Mm,
I think that the ice trap is probably the one you want to jettison off as opposed to thrive in the shadows, but we'll see.
yeah, 5 is good for after the quest resolves of just going to find your win condition. Just gives you more of a consistent outcome on the end of the game.
Absolutely. And this is like the matchup where this frozen touch is just going to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Be so powerful.
Unless you steal it.
Well, could take one. Grab a Grey Sage Parrot. Not sure how impactful that could be.
Is there any to the Finley? I mean, kind of dump your hand to go get some better stuff to kind of finish your quest. I kind of like that play. Yep.
I don't think it's Wildfire.
I think that's
Nightclub
an easy
Sanctum.
sanction. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, attacking first I think is viable.
Okay, we'll see the attack. To clean the scene. See if it lives.
And before the Finley, I think you dump. Interesting. I was gonna say maybe the Shivering Sorceress before the Finley, just so you don't draw it.
Well, if it goes to the bottom, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, I assume when you're playing Priest, you draw every card in your deck, anyways.
And putting back 2 fully infused Frozen Touches does not seem like the move, but that is the play that we see. Some good cards, though. We see Kel'Thuzad, but instead of gassing it, Righteous Jammies will go for maximum pressure. And right on time is Shard of the Naru.
Definitely the answers here, and I think Righteous Jammies was just wanting to get some more proactive cards in hand and kind of giving up the long-term value, kind of discouraged by the still being at 21 from Joltzi's point of view. And now we got some decisions here. Definitely kind of freeze off the 6/8. But if we're going to do that, Shard first.
Yeah, maybe, but we'll see. Like I like Shard Hero Power Xyrella Sanctum. That seems like a good way to do things, but well, this looks like that's what we're gonna see.
Ordering was important. Glad to see that.
Yes.
Attack first or into the 1/3. Great.
Yep. All goes great. Deathborn here can do a little bit of work. Wildfire and Ignite are both pretty nice. See Wildfire. But notably the Deathborn is held, which gives Joltzi a little bit of time to try to get off this board.
Mm-hmm. And the thing from Joltzi's point of view is that you don't win by just, the Whirlpool. Is there any value here? I mean, one school teacher's been played, the other hasn't.
Yep, not unreasonable. And it does play the 8-mana card.
It's a good time to reset the board and kind of squeeze in that high casting cost card, and then the
Yep.
another disconnect.
Yep. I think it works out well. We could see either the Ice Trap or the Hero Power. I think both choices are defensible.
Even at what point is the Finley not worth it on card draw? Right, because you need
I
the
think-
7 still.
Right. And I think, though, that you can give yourself one more turn to find a 7 naturally. You also
Okay.
can use Identity Theft to look for a 7 because you know that Magister Dawngrasp is
Ooh.
likely in the deck because it hasn't been played.
Fair
So
point.
if I were Jolt C, I would start my next turn by playing Identity Theft, playing Magister Dawngrasp if I find it, and if not, then using the Finley to shuffle the Identity Theft cards into my deck for more draws.
Yep.
Because you can draw
Solid
that
play.
one additional card doing it that way. And then
Didn't
you
like
can
that
play.
play.
So, see the Frozen Touch get launched. And maximum pressure. There's Cyrella. So a
Ooh.
good option, but I think this makes Finley a little bit less incentivized. That Zyrella is a lot of healing, a little bit of card draw.
I wonder.
You can do Zarella, and then if you don't get anything, then Finley afterwards to give you a better shot to put your 7 down next turn. You don't get the
Yes.
value of the identity, but I don't think at some point you can't wait too many turns because the chip damage starts to pile up.
Well,
you are getting a lot of healing, and you are getting armor though. So there's
right.
that.
It's 21 total points of healing. That's pretty considerable. Plus drawing 2 cards.
Those we love are never truly lost.
And then you're doing some damage with your skeletons as well.
Mm-hmm.
No time.
So we see Condemn, Shadow Word Ruin. Just 1 skeleton. And then using the hero power for another 5. So all the way back up to from 18 to 44.
Definitely a good spot to be in as control. Oh, we do see the Dawn Grasp here.
Yes.
It is a bit late in the game, but still good.
Well, you always it's the card the mage needs, so
Mhm.
I am sure Righteous Jammies is happy to see it. Well, that's a little unfortunate. Cold Case
They
though
got
is
2
great.
damage in. Yep. Notably,
Yeah.
the life total that doesn't matter on Righteous Jammy's side. But it's good to have it.
Yep, and those hero powers are coming in. Grab a Deathborn there. That seems pretty nice. And Wildfire, not bad. Grey Sage Parrot, not bad to pair with the Deathborn. I think I probably would have liked to have seen the Parrot, but
Yeah, just to get more skeletons out there right on your side. It's the same effect, and you put a 4/5 body on the board.
right. I think at this point in the game, I'm mentally realigning to try to win with stuff other than the quest, or at least put pressure on the mage, just because I'm a little bit worried about completion time. Now that Dawn Grasp is online, that hero power is doing damage. There's Frozen Touch is a factor.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how much damage the mage can put out pretty fast, and we do see it with Infused and
Right.
getting
And
hit there.
and Commander Savara will be loaded up on Frozen Touches. And this gets obscene very fast. Righteous Jammy spending the touch there just to get it out of hand, because now the Savara can fill the hand with more touches and keep it going. It's very gross.
We do see basically a free turn for Joltsy. Nothing on the board. Oh, we do see the 7.
Yep, and
Now it's interesting.
well, the question is whether Mutinous is there. And I think Joltsy might take an educated guess and assume it's not. It's a risk Joltsy has to take at some point. Joltsy elects not to take it right now. Finds Elec Mount, though. That's a different 7, but maybe
An option.
I don't know if it's any good, but could be this Devouring Plague instead.
I think if you're making the line that they have Mutanus, then you take the Elk Mount as the backup,
Yep.
right?
And Vengeful Visage to create a little bit of a diversion.
Always good to make your opponent think.
All right, we'll see that Frozen Touch spent, which I don't think is normally how this is best done. But those hero powers are coming in. And there's Finley number 2.
Which is great for the win condition, right? So once in 2 turns, it'll be good to play. Not this turn, but next turn.
Well, we could see the famous Finley Tuck.
Ah, yes.
So here, Blackwater Behemoth is good for some healing for Jolt C. Oh, don't remove the minion. All right.
And we do see that kind of damage mitigation of 5 next turn from the hero power, right? So
Yep.
more dress is good.
Now we'll probably see Zyrella the Sanctified, I would have to imagine. Followed up with one of the Finleys.
Yeah. It give you a better chance to just end it next turn.
It almost certainly is ended. So there are 7 cards in hand, right? 9 cards in deck.
Mhm.
So playing this puts these cards on bottom and takes the bottom 6 and then draws 1. So almost then draw 1 for turn.
And it was a drawn. Yep, we see it drawn. Yep.
Well, you're living in the future. So you'll have to excuse my... And there's the
I
Thrive
just
in the
knew.
shadow.
I'm a priest player by heart, so I knew it was drawn.
Just trusted.
This battle is far from over.
Is it though? Far from over. Cyrella, that voice line isn't right. So,
And I think it's just not enough.
no. And Jolt C is going to Purify. And
Yeah.
that'll be that.
You will
Destroy thine enemy.
All right.
Wow. Another long, grueling matchup. Quest Priest slugs it out, finds the line, survives, and gets the win.
Yeah, and suddenly we find our series at 2-0. So, how is this? Do you think this 3-2 prediction is still looking good, Kotamora? Can we see Righteous Jammies bring it back? No.
I believe so. I think there's still a possibility for the reverse sweep, at least to take it to Silver Scrapes, because when it's control versus control, you never know.
Yep.
Depends on what Warlock this is. I may change my.
So
Ooh.
from what we're seeing, it looks like it might be pure imp.
Imp block. It looks like pure imp block. It depends on the start on both sides. I mean, this can either snowball one way or the other. This is very high rolly. But I think if Joltzy can hit that mid game and just get at least one board reset, sometimes that's enough to kind of snowball and just keep control. But we all know that Imp Block has this ability to just swarm early, and if you don't have an answer, you're just dead.
Yeah.
We do
And
big
it's-
spell mage.
Yeah, and well,
Ooh,
Trog on 1.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
These books are ruined.
And Amplified Snow Flurry is perfect.
Protecting the Trog.
Yep. protecting Trog, getting ahead on board. Interesting.
The
No,
thought was
I-
there. You go over all
Yeah.
your options, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think it's a poor play or anything. It's just definitely like, one that you often don't consider, but I think might have been more worth thinking about than, I at first had lended it credence. But
Mhm.
see the Trog come in now, get another 1 damage, and now likely a hero power into the Bloodbound Imp. So unfortunate miss on the curve there for Joltsy, but now we have a game again.
We see the Vow Library, and then I assume the Wicked Shipment comes down, even for... No.
Nope, not even a trade. I think that is a little bit of a miscue. The armor
Yeah,
is
if you weren't going
here,
to play it, yeah.
and I like to see this go face. Yeah.
Now that's a card.
Yes, it is. A little bit of some ordering there. Nope, trade this time. Okay. Now, this is a pretty great looking Varden Dawngrasp. Joltsy is going to have that to get him ahead. And Righteous Jammies, in spite of being the aggro deck nominally, is now a little bit behind. They're going to need to come up with something to fight back for this board.
Just need to create some space and then kind of create more
Yep.
minions. Go
So-
wide. I like it.
Well, going against Big Spell Mage, though, I'm a little bit scared of that line. See? Punished. Always it's the coin. Every time. Why wouldn't it? Why would it not? Doesn't even think about playing the Reckless Apprentice. Just immediately knows.
Oh. And we know how runes go. Oh, that's I heard that's a good card.
Yeah, pretty solid rune. No major
6.
complaints there from Joltsy. See the Onyxia get removed.
Rebuilds the board, so we do this. I mean, it gives Righteous their chances to kind of swing back and put pressure down. I like going face and not trying to control the board. Ooh, do you see a Dawngrasp? That's
I
not
think
what
we
you
will
want to see.
See a Rune of the Archmage come down here with the Great Sage Parrot.
I think you're right because Rune always wins games. I think both were solid. That's not. Yeah, it's okay.
That's dragons.
Yeah, it is dragons. If there's room.
Okay, so one of those sheep goes in, and now some dragons are coming. Those are good ones.
And 412s, I think, outrace imps.
Yeah. And that Voidwalker is the last taunt available for the moment.
It's no longer available.
And that's a wrap.
Yep, there you go. Oh.
Clean sweep from Joltsy.
Well, now your predictions were very much on point. Your reasonings may have not been. You know, you did say there were aggressive decks that got you there, but, you know, the control deck did went out for Joltsy. Well played.
Yep.
Entertaining match. Great for these Friday night fights.
That was perhaps the most Giga Chad Barbara Slam I've ever seen besides Osmonauts that I casted.
I'd agree. That was no hesitation. There's
Yeah.
a safe board clear, but what if instead?
What if
Zero
instead
mana.
we hit the coin? Like the only 0 cost spell in their deck. I mean, it is I guess the logic.
It's known that it's in the hand. Of course,
Oh,
the
yeah.
chance
Yeah.
of it.
But the logic of this deck doesn't run that many spells. I think could partially apply.
Oh yeah. I don't think it was a bad decision at all. I think it was a good risk. But
Yeah.
I think that just from the get-go, like just that start that Joltzy had was so good that
Yeah,
you know,
I
that game
agree.
was swung.
Awesome.
So we'll be having a winners post game interview tonight.
Yeah,
or...
we will.
Oh,
I'm going
boy.
to add Joltzy in here. He said he'll be a second, so I'm just at least going to add him in here, and I'll let him join in. Join when good. So I will just allow Joltzy to join whenever he's good, because he said he needed a second, so... You know, need a second to either find the headset or whatever you need to use, or a microphone to use to talk, but overall... But we had
Celebration lap. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, Dr. Fish, what does this do for our match score here? I know that this one was already pretty well decided going in, but where do we end up on the points?
So this match came in at 12-1 for IDK. It now leaves at 12-5 for IDK.
Well, big win for Jolt C then, picking up some points and, you know, getting a little bit out of a tough week.
Have to call him because he's not joining.
And I think, you know, the important thing is, you know, we're coming to the end of the season. Points matter regardless, right? So every point matters. So getting the win, even if it's a weak loss, is still super important. Where do they sit? Oh,
Yep,
I think we have it joined.
we do.
Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't
Hello.
realize.
Yeah,
You,
I added you, but I didn't. But I made sure that I stopped the ring because I know you were doing something. You said you needed a second. But yeah, congratulations on the win. Keep getting your team some points. I know it's been a rough week, so it's gotta be nice to get a sweep and get some points and get that record to 4-2.
Yeah, for sure. That's after getting swept last week. Back to be. I'm glad to be back on it. So yeah, definitely glad to get the first win anyway. I hate
Yeah.
control that to begin with, but definitely happy I came through.
Kind of going in, what was the game plan going into the match? You know, did your opponent, did they bring the decks that you expected they would bring? Kind of give us some insight there.
So my game plan there was to, one, bring the best decks based on what I could ban. So more or less take a look at some matchups and see if I ban whatever class, what would be the best decks to bring. So based on that, I just thought this was the strongest ban and the strongest lineup I could bring for this setup for this week.
Awesome, and it paid off well. I mean, you know, Dankus, he had to jump, he had to run, but you know, he did predict a quicker series. I wanted to see 5 games, and then when I saw kind of 2 more control-y lineups, I was like, this is an easy 5-game series. I mean, nope, you took it, you ground it through. Kind of, what was your thought process going through that priest game of, you know, it's kind of back and forth and trying to squeeze in, trying to get your hero power being your quest progressed? Kind of, what was your thoughts going through that?
So that game there against the mage, I knew I had a couple things I had to do. I know I had to make sure I was above 10 at all times. I had to make sure I saw Bran. I had to make sure I saw Theo, and I had to make sure I saw Calcazad. So based on that, when I saw, you know, I was free and clear, it was definitely good to see all 4 of those cards, especially early on when I saw the first 2. When I saw Bran and I saw Theo right away, I knew I was pretty much okay to do whatever I wanted. I didn't have to worry about Finley's. I didn't have to worry about anything on that line. Stole his just in case if I needed the shard quicker, but just making sure that was going on. Plus, that's when the game crashed on me too, so in the middle of the game. So trying to realize and trying to get my head back set when I came back in was took me a couple turns to figure out what was going on, especially after I missed a couple, especially in the Shaman game too. I missed a couple actions because my PC decided it didn't want to work with me.
Yeah, it's bad enough you're playing on stream. It's worse when the game crashes, and you're right. There's that frantic thing. You're just mad at the world of like, what's going on? Why can't I even get back in? But you were able to recover.
Yeah.
You did find that win, and definitely seeing the Theo early in the priest game definitely was good for your side, right? Because you're not worried about them stealing your win condition.
Yep.
But well played all around. And it kind of the last question I had was with the Shaman game. Kind of walk us through your opinions outside the game crash there. your thoughts on how you're doing and how that
So
matchup was.
that game was a little more difficult just because I didn't really draw much that I was hoping for that matchup in particular. The fact that I got Caverns, both Caverns in my opening hand didn't help, or at least off the first 1 or 2 draws. That didn't help. If I was going second, I could probably say differently, but with that, it was just more or less kind of stay afloat. I know the power spikes are coming, and then it was once I got Rakan, it was okay. This is the spike I have. I got to work with what I got, and then once I got the Theatar, and then I saw his hand was down. It was either 4 or 5 cards. I decided I got to see. He's playing as if he has it in hand. And he's setting it up for lethal, and I said I got to go for it. And so I went for it and was able to hit it. I know I wasn't guaranteed because I know there's more than 3 cards, but I know it was either 4 or 5 in his hand. So I had a pretty good shot if he had it.
Yeah.
And just he was playing, he was setting up for it.
Yeah, that was a really good read on your part, for sure.
And it did set up the play where we get to see you activate the Mordresh with your hero power, which is always a sight to see as a shaman.
I completely forgot that the deal 2 to everything also went towards that.
Yes.
So I was going to roll the fires twice. And then when I saw that it was fire, like on lethal turn there, when I saw that it was deal 6, and then I already saw it was yellow, and I was like, how did that happen? Then I clicked it. It's like, all right, I dealt 2 to everything.
Yeah.
Oh, well played. Well-earned victory. Appreciate you coming on stream for Friday Night Fights. Any last words to the audience?
No, but Fish, I'm looking for a rematch to you.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully your team can get it. I know it's been a rough couple of weeks, and our match was so intense in week 1. It ended in such an anticlimactic way because because I will be honest, I Giga High rolled on the Warlock on Imp Block week 1, but I mean honestly, watching your play here it seemed really just like pretty clean. I taking your time on all the plays, like there was such a difference, and this is something that I also like to note, is seeing the tempo at which the players play. Because I find that like I can slow down or speed up if I just have the right curve, but you were very consistently thinking about things, and that was very good, and I think it ultimately helped you find pretty good lines and helped you get there.
Yeah, I find with the decks I brought too, like you got to take your time, because if you don't, then you got to think just not only this turn, but next turn and at least a couple turns.
Yeah, I try to think
2 turns in advance.
Yeah,
and Cormor, same thing. It's like every time we play with it's always a good match too. So
yeah, I have Coda. I play Kodamora in a couple of weeks from now, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I'm lucky to have a good season so far. So
we have 2 more weeks left, and I play you in the final week. So we'll see how playoffs are. We'll see how playoffs are going from there. At that time, we're starting to see a shape up overall. But I won't take anybody else's time for the rest of the evening and just say GG's to Joltzy. I am looking forward to whenever we get to rematch again, and thank his dad who had to leave. Thank you so much for casting, and Kodamora, thank you for casting as well. You two are excellent. You two are excellent together as casters. I'm so thankful that you guys enjoy it, and it's so much fun to do this, and hopefully this type of thing interests other players or people in the community who want to take up casting. Potentially, at least you can give it a whirl. We have plenty of openings for that for all the shows that we have. So, and also if you want to play on stream, you can contact me or Lotus Knight or Saku. We will get you to the right person, or Wild9, I should say also. And I think that's about all the info I have. I think tomorrow there's a possibility of an afternoon match between Linthesis and Monsanto, but we don't have an op for that yet, an operator for that as far as I know. And then I think Saturday night has a couple of matches on the slate, and I'm not sure about those. So just keep a lookout in the stream announcements in the THL Discord for all the information you need for on-stream action. And until then have a fantastic night, everybody. We'll see you for at least Salty Saturday, perhaps a School Stone tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, have a wonderful evening, and good night.
Good night.
Thanks, guys.